Hi everybody, this is Noah, and this is my video project on the passive and active continental margins. So let's get started. Let's start down here. I chose both the east and west coast of South America, and let's start off the coast of Buenos Aires right here. And Buenos Aires has a latitude longitude of around 78 degrees south and around 56 degrees west, with an eye altitude of around 426 miles. I believe that this continental margin is passive because there is a very long, very flat shelf around 120 miles of it, and it only it only lowers in elevation about a couple hundred feet. It goes from around 30 to around 500. So it's not a huge decrease. So it's a very big, very flat shelf. And then over here to the slope, which has an average of around 0.8, the average slope 0.8%, and then over here into the rise. So the reason I believe that this is passive is because it's very smooth. It's not rigid, but I mean there's obviously these little bumps right here, but that's because it's just nature, and there's no straight lines in nature. So those are the main reasons that on why I believe that this is passive, because it's just very smooth, it's very consistent, and there's nothing too crazy going on with it. So let's move over to the west coast of South America, just off the coast of a town called Valparaiso. And this town has a latitude and longitude of around 33 degrees south and around 74 degrees west, with an eye altitude of 172 miles. And I believe that this continental margin is very active. I think this because the active continental margins, they barely have any shelf whatsoever. And you can see this to hold true because there's only a few miles worth of it. There may be a couple more here, but it's still so much less than the other one that I showed previously. And there's barely any shelf whatsoever, and then it comes down into the slope, and it goes into this trench, which is around 19,000 feet deep. But then it comes back up, and then it flattens back out. So this trench right here is where I get the main reason on why I think that this is active, because this is where the two plates, this oceanic plate over here, and then this continental plate over here, they're colliding along this line, and the subduction trench is one of the reasons that I think that this is active. Obviously the shelf, and how just it's not as smooth as the other passive one, because there's a lot more bumps. It's not just one straight decline. It decreases, and then it increases, and then it decreases, and then it's just flat and consistent. So those are the main reasons on why I think that this is an active continental margin. And yeah, that's everything that I wanted to say. Thank you for listening, and yeah.